You know that thing your dog does, where they follow you everywhere, from the kitchen to the living room, up the stairs, and yep, even right to the bathroom door? We're going to dive into why they do that, because trust me, the real reason is way more incredible than you probably think.
I'm willing to bet for a whole lot of you this is happening as we speak. That little furry shadow just waiting, patiently. Maybe one ear is cocked, listening. They're not worried, they're not panicking. They've just decided that right there, on the other side of that door, is exactly where they're supposed to be. So, why, right? I mean, most of us just kind of shrug and say, oh, it's separation anxiety, or he's just really clingy. And yeah, those things feel true, but the actual science behind it tells a completely different and frankly a much cooler story.
Okay, so let's flip this whole idea on its head. What we see as simple clinginess is actually a super sophisticated navigation strategy for them. What we might think is a weakness is really a sign of confidence. And that little personality quirk, well, that's an evolutionary feature that's been in the works for thousands and thousands of years. Let's get into it.
So, first things first, we have to completely reframe how we see this. Your dog following you around isn't a sign that they're weak or needy. It's actually the complete opposite. It's a show of how confident they feel just by you being there. The main idea here is something called the secure base effect. Think of yourself as home base in a game of tag, right? You being there doesn't make your dog helpless. It actually makes them feel safe enough to go explore and take on challenges. You're the anchor that makes the big, scary world feel totally manageable to them. And check this out. A really simple study from 2013 proves this perfectly. Researchers gave a bunch of dogs a puzzle they literally couldn't solve. Now, when the owner was in the room, the dogs kept trying. They stayed focused, they worked at it, but the second the owner left the room, they gave up, almost immediately. And get this, having a stranger in the room made no difference at all. The confidence came specifically from their person. And this quote just nails it. That dog outside the bathroom door isn't waiting there because it's scared or can't cope. It's waiting because with you nearby, it feels like it can handle anything the world throws at it. You're not their crutch, you're their superpower. Now there's another thing going on here, and it's called referential looking. You've seen this. When your dog sees something weird, like a plastic bag blowing down the street, or a box that wasn't there yesterday, what's the first thing they do? They look right back at you. They are literally reading your face for information on how they should react. And this isn't a rare thing. It's practically universal. In one study, a whopping 83% of dogs looked back at their owner when they saw a weird fan with streamers on it. It's like their brain goes, whoa, weird thing. Okay, check with the boss. Are we cool with this? Is this scary? What's the plan? So following you around is just their way of keeping their number one source of information in their line of sight.
All right, so that covers the psychology of what's happening in the moment. But now let's go even deeper. Let's talk about the biology and the history of why this bond is just so incredibly powerful.
You see, this whole thing isn't just behavioral. It's actually chemical. When you and your dog look into each other's eyes, both of your brains get a hit of oxytocin. You've probably heard of it, the love hormone. This creates this amazing feedback loop. The oxytocin makes you feel bonded, which makes you gaze more, which releases more oxytocin. And what's wild is, when scientists tried this with human-raised wolves, nothing happened. This loop is unique to us and our dogs.
And this bond is ancient. I mean, we're talking 15,000 years ancient. That's before we invented farming. That burial site they found in Germany is just mind-blowing. It shows a dog that was so sick, it probably couldn't even stand, but it was cared for by humans 14,000 years ago. These weren't just tools we used, they were part of the family, right from the very beginning.
And here's the kicker. This drive to be near you is literally hardwired into their DNA. Research has found that dogs have variations in the same genes that, in humans, are linked to something called Williams-Burns syndrome, a condition that causes people to be extremely, compulsively friendly and trusting. Think about that. Over thousands of years, we've essentially selected for dogs that are genetically predisposed to want to be with us.
So, okay, we've got all this incredible, deep science, but what does it mean for us, day to day? How do we use this knowledge to strengthen that bond and really, speak their language?
Well, it really comes down to the small stuff. That mutual gaze we talked about, hold it for just an extra second or two. When you come home, make that greeting warm and real. On your walks, let them sniff everything. That nose work literally makes them more optimistic. And remember, sometimes just being in the same room, quietly, is just as powerful as petting them.
And your words really, really matter. A study showed that a dog's brain only gets truly excited when you use a warm, happy tone and words they recognize, like walk or good boy. Their brains actually process the tone and the meaning in different areas, just like ours do. The reward center only lights up when both are good, so they're not just hearing blah, blah, blah. They're actually trying to understand you.
All right, let's bring this all home. Let's take all this science and use it to look at that little shadow at your feet in a completely new light.
That clinginess, it's not a bug, it's the main feature. It's the whole point. It's the result of 15,000 years of coevolution. The friendliest wolves, the ones who were brave enough and curious enough to hang around humans, those were the ones who survived and passed on their genes. Your dog is a direct descendant of the ones who chose us.
I just love this quote because it says everything. This isn't clinginess. It's the biggest compliment you could ever get from another species. Every single time your dog gets up from a nap to follow you into another room, they are telling you that you are the most interesting, most reliable, and most important thing in their entire universe. So the next time you turn around and almost trip over that little furry shadow, just take a second. Remember what's really happening. It's not neediness, it's confidence, it's trust. And it's a 15,000-year-old love story playing out right there in your hallway. It's a conversation. And the only question is, are you listening?